next 1 minute is ready. It's loading ready.
Louis, try to make it conversational, I beg.
Doing that.
And Louis, you might need to call to the number I sent. All right.
Right. So we can start. You're able to go. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Yeah, we have our speaker Babs on today, and we'll allow him to introduce himself briefly and then go right at it. So welcome, Babs.
Hi, Louis. Hi, Titi. Thank you for having me. Hello, Louis. Can I kick off? All right, cool.
Yes, please. You can go on, Babs, please.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Babs. And today I'll be taking us through. So this will really be like a live session. We're going to be doing configurations in real time. Traditionally, the way support has worked in the Atlassian ecosystem has been first by sending email to a support email address, and that conversation gets translated to a Jira ticket, or apologies, just a minute. Or the user can just go to a portal and raise a ticket. But with Atlassian's customer service management tool, we are able now to integrate voice calls and convert those to Jira tickets. So Atlassian customer service management is one of Atlassian's most recent tools, and it offers some very interesting features. And one of these is the voice channel. This together with the existing email channels and support website channels. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. This is going to be in 2 parts. First, we're going to be dealing with the configurations on the Atlassian side and the configurations on the AWS side. A disclaimer, it's very important to note that this demo is going to really work for enterprises or organizations with an Amazon Web Services environment. The integration currently just works for users with an AWS environment. So I'm going to share my screen. As I said earlier, customer service management is one of Atlassian's most recent tools. And if you've been familiar with Jira Service Management, you know that with Jira Service Management, we can configure emails to take in user requests. We can have a portal where users can also raise tickets and submit their requests. But with customer service management, CSM, there is an additional channel called the voice channel. And this can be pretty straightforward. With the voice channel, there are a number of configuration steps we need to follow to be able to support our customers through voice calls. So this is the flow. A user calls in with a support phone number, and there is an agent that picks up the phone and tries to resolve the user's request. And if the request gets resolved, it's all on good. We can close the request. But if not, from the call portal, which we're going to see shortly, the agents can raise a request, which then gets created. An agent can raise a request, which then goes into Jira and get created as a ticket. And afterwards, the recording of that conversation will be automatically added as on the ticket. So quick one, we have here some of the installation, some of the configuration steps. So right here, I'm logged into my environment. This is my customer service experience. And right here, I am on the voice channel. And every voice channel comes with this configuration. And the major thing we need here is a CloudFormation template file. So if you're a Jira admin, you might need to work with your AWS admin to complete this setup. So right here, I'm going to be downloading my CloudFormation template file. This is what we really need, and this is what will be deployed into AWS. And then there are some important configuration items here, your cloud ID, your customer experience ID. And then, so I'm going to log into my AWS environment, and I'm just going to go to CloudFormation. And I am going to be uploading the file I just downloaded. I'm just create a stack right here. I'm going to be using the new resources. I'm going to be uploading a template file. And just going to use this. I'm going to click next. So yeah, once you upload that template file, there are a number of configuration items you need to provide. First, we're going to need the client ID. We're going to need the client secrets. We're going to need the cloud ID, the customer experience ID, and an instance suffix. This can be anything. For cloud ID and customer experience ID, those are available from your voice channel. So you can just copy this and put them in your configurations. But then we're going to need the client ID and client secret. So this is where step 2 on this is where the step 1 comes in from the voice channel. So we would have to create a service account. And we would need to make sure that the service account has got the permission to write into a customer service management project. If you need to learn about service accounts, there is a documentation we will share at the end of this call. So basically, service accounts are accounts we use majorly for automation, so for integrating with external systems. But for this demo, I'm just going to type something here and just put in a random string because I have already deployed my stack already. And then I'm going to call this demo 1. And then you need to configure some other configurations in here. I'm going to delete all newly created resources. So what this step is going to do is really, it's going to create a number of resources for us. It's going to create a Lambda function. It's going to create an S3 bucket. It's going to create, most importantly, an Amazon and AWS Connect instance. It's going to create an AWS Connect instance. And this is what we will be using in our next steps. And this is what we'll be using for majorly the integration. So the Bitbucket is going to really store the recordings of our call. The Lambda function really contains the logic for how our calls get routed to Jira. And then the Connect instance is where, when users call in, this is where our agents can log in and support our environment and support our users. So from the Connect instance, you should, once you've deployed your stack, you should, when you navigate to your CloudFormation template and you navigate to resources, you should see an AWS Connect instance at the bottom, and you should have these statuses for all the resources. So if I click on this new environment, and it will bring me to it will bring me to the dashboard for my newly deployed Amazon AWS Connect instance. For your first login, you would need to use the emergency access for login, primarily because there is no admin accounts created when we deploy the stack. So we would need to log in via the emergency access. So once you log in, you can then create an admin account and configure your users. So really the first step is really about taking the CloudFormation template file and deploying that to AWS. And once deployed on AWS, we can begin to work with the voice integration. So you should have an environment that looks like this, an AWS Connect environment, and then you can, from here, you can navigate to users and create an admin account. For my, from this demo, I already created an admin account here called Telephony admin, and also I've created a personal account for my user, for myself as an agent. So this is my admin account, and this is my agent account. But to add new users, you can add a new user here. Also, if you have a number of users, you can import them via CSV. You need to provide a first name, provide them a password, but very importantly, you will need to select the routing profile. For the users I've created, we'll be using the Atlassian CSM routing profile. All this routing profile was created when we deployed our stack. So this is going to come in once our stack has been successfully created. So we're going to be using this Atlassian CSM routing profile, and whoever is going to be an agent, we would need to assign them to be agents under the security profile. So we will need to make sure our agent is assigned the agent profile, and they are assigned the Atlassian CSM routing profile. Also, one of the settings we also need to make sure is that on security profile for agents, we also need to configure our security profiles, and from the security profiles, when we click down and we go to agents, we need to give our agent access to custom views. One of the custom views that was created is the interface where an agent can create a ticket. So when we navigate all the way down to custom, sorry, Luis, what just happened?
I trust you lost you.
Where was I? Apologies. Luis, sorry, where was I before I got disconnected? So I'm just going to continue. So yeah, as I was saying, routing profiles. This is how the calls get routed to the right agents, and this was created automatically by our CloudFormation templates. Currently, there are 2 agents assigned to this, and those are the both accounts I've already created. So yeah, those are the major configurations we need to look at. We need to create users, create an admin account, and also an agent account, and assign them to the right profiles. So this they're both assigned to the Atlassian CSM routing profile. And lastly, we would need to configure the phone numbers where the users can call into. And for this, we'll need to navigate to the channels and click on phone numbers. So I have already claimed the phone number in here, but we can always claim another number. I'm going to select the voice channel. You can choose from a list of countries. I'm going to be using the UK. And we are able to claim up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Any of these can be claimed, but very importantly, you need to also select a contact flow for your phone numbers. And for this, we're going to be selecting the Atlassian CSM call handler. This was also created automatically when we deployed the CloudFormation template. So I want to be claiming this already because I have already configured one. So I'm just going to click cancel. But now we can now come to see this in action. So for this, I am going to grab my URL from my environment, and I'm going to try to log in. I'm going to log out from here, sign out. I'm going to log in as Babs. To log in as Babs. I'm going to provide my password and try to sign in. And so once an agent signs in, they are able to see a view like this. But then for them to be able to pick calls, they will need to navigate to my agent workspace. It takes a while to load. And I'll set myself to be available. So really from here, when a call comes in, I can attend to a user, and then from here, I can raise a ticket. So I'm just going to try and call support number now, and we can see how that works. So I'm going to pull a call through to the number I've already claimed. Place on a call. The call comes in here. There's a lot of noise. So I can do that and accept the call.
Atlassian CSM basic queue, shelf.
All right, so once I accept the call, all right, basically, so I can just accept the call, talk to the user, talk to the customer. Apologies for the noise. So I can accept the call, talk to the customer, or on the user or the other end, try to resolve an issue. Or if that issue is not resolved, I can just create a work item from here. And on behalf of, let's say, Babs, Telegram.net, demo call. And then we can create a work item from here. And on this view, we would see from this view, we will also see the ticket ID of the ticket that was created in our customer support project. And this call has been logged into Jira. And after 30 minutes, the recording of this call will be attached to the ticket, and an agent in the Jira environment can pick up that ticket, listen to the call recording, and help to resolve the ticket. So basically, this is how the integration works. There are a number of configurations or customizations that can be added to the process, but for a basic use case, it all starts with downloading the CloudFormation templates, creating your service account, uploading the CloudFormation templates to AWS, and configuring your AWS Connect instance with the right user and attaching them to the right routing profiles. And once your customers call in, they can be supported by an agent, and the recordings of those conversations can be logged on a Jira ticket, which can further be worked on. So yeah, thank you very much. Just let me know if there are any questions. Louis, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Babs. That was insightful. So I think at this moment, I'll allow everyone to, so if you have a question, you can just talk or just raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak. So I have a questions, contribution. Well, let's start with questions first. So if you have a question, just raise your hand and you'll be able to speak. And if you want to drop them in the chat, that is still very fine.
Well, I got a quick question. Once a call transcript comes in, you said it takes about 30 minutes. Can that be thrown straight into an automation or into some sort of flow so that if there are actions that can be taken from the call, it doesn't require a human to first re-triage a call that's already happened? Also, what about actions from the call where the agent made promises, I'll do this, I'll do that for you, very soon? Can we take that and start to throw that into a functional workflow? Is that possible?
So out of the box, there's no intelligent layer behind the call. It's just what is just getting attached is the call transcript. There's as of today, there is no intelligent layer behind the calls. So for it to be further processed, it has to be passed into another tool that can do that. But right now, as of today, that's currently not possible. That's currently not available. Absolutely, yeah. It's built for everybody. So Titi is asking, can small business also benefit from Atlassian CSM Telephony? Yeah, it's not a very expensive process. I think most of the cost comes from once you've paid for customer service management, the other costs come from your AWS license usage. So yeah, it's also it doesn't discriminate whether it's a big business or a small business. It works for both. So small businesses can also use this. Any more questions?
Okay, I think I should ask mine. So my question is, does the telephone integration, does it allow like automated lookup of incoming caller numbers, maybe to match them with existing CSM profiles?
So yes, you can save a contact. Once a call comes in, there's an option over there to save a contact. And then you can save this contact. So when the call comes in next time, you know that okay, it's coming from this contact and things like that. So yes.
All right, thank you. I think we have a question on the chat. So let me see. Okay, let me check. Okay, what advice would you give to organizations planning to adopt Atlassian solutions for customer support?
The flexibility Atlassian gives is integrations with other systems. Atlassian offers a very intuitive UI, and you are able to integrate your Atlassian environment with external systems. And with Atlassian investment in AI, you are able to train your customer data on 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 the Atlassian AI system without switching context, without having to pay for other AI tools. So for customer support, Atlassian just provides a flexible way to face your customers, to resolve their issues, and to integrate with external systems. So
Okay, thanks for that. I still have one more question. And okay, so I understand that this is like an agent. So let's assume we're in a situation where there are several calls coming in and like let me call it call overflow or something like that.
yeah.
And so does the so how does this and how does agent handle maybe before you reach an actual human agent, like human support person to pick it up?
Yeah.
Um, is there maybe is there like a maybe criteria set to do that, or how does it work?
Yeah, so the interface itself, the AWS Connect instance itself, it's not specific to Atlassian, right? So it can be customized for IVRs where so currently as of today with the configuration we're able to like take 10 calls concurrently. But if all those 10 calls are busy, you are added to a queue, and then as the calls had been added, as those, so let's say there are 10 people on the call and you're on number 11th, you are added to a queue. So once one person is done, you are progressed in that queue once you're actually able to like talk to an actual agent. But also, as I mentioned, it can be configured for IVR such that you don't really need to talk to an agent until your issue is resolved. So we can configure this for particular options. Say maybe, for example, press 1 to do this, press 2 to do that. So yeah, so that it's highly configurable.
All right, thanks so much. It's a question from Ralph on the Q&A. Let me read it out. Does the telephony has a language translation function such that when an agent concludes a call with a customer and a ticket is raised, the service team picking up the ticket can get a language translation for easy understanding of the issue?
So as I mentioned, there's no intelligent layer behind this yet. So it's just you have a call, it attaches this transcript to a ticket. Um, so as of today, there is no intelligent layer yet behind it.
All right, thank you very much for that. All right, do you have more questions or contributions to add? All right, if we don't have more questions, I guess that will be all for now. So thank you very much, Perhaps. Thanks for the insightful and interesting session. And we hope to come your way again soon. I also look forward to having you in. It's another topic or an extension of this.
All right, thank you,
All right.
Luigi, for having me. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome. All right, so that will be all for this week, and see you at another session.